Here we have McFarlane's second attempt at the Nightmare Man himself, and boy is it a wonderful piece of work. This guy was part of movie Maniacs Series 4, released back in 2001, and it's actually a shrunken down version of an 18-inch figure released in a previous wave. And as far as I can tell, nothing was lost in translation. I must say, this is probably the nicest 7-inch Fred Krueger release to date. All of the articulation is nicely hidden. He's certainly the most statuesque of the 7-inch figures, and the most imposing, I feel. This figure actually truly looks frightening. From head to toe, nice work. This is a 100% accurate representation of Robert Englund as the main protagonist, or main antagonist, sorry, in the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I don't think, sculpting-wise, a Freddy figure gets any better than this. Paint-wise, there are no complaints. He is literally perfect from head to toe, and he's just a wonder to look at. One thing that I do really love is that the shirt is painted differently. In some incarnations of Freddy, you have the Freddy that has the red and the green stripes going down the arms, down the chest. In some interpretations of Freddy, you just have the plain red arms. And then you just have the red and green stripes going down the front and back of the shirt. One thing I really love about this figure, it's blood splattered, and from the toes to the torso, it's a solid black speck with blood. You know, seen a million times in characters that wear pants. Not that big of a deal, but what I'm most impressed with is the torso. I love how there's all kinds of dark black shaded into areas of the shirt to give it a nice dingy look. It looks like he's been wearing this shirt for years, and it's caked in oil and caked in grime and, you know, all the stuff that a person would amass in their attire had they spent a substantial amount of time in a boiler room. The arms I really like a whole lot because it's a mixture of a solid red, and then there's some darker maroons and some blacks that are all inside of the wrinkles of the shirt to give it a very shaded look, like lights coming down on it. Paint on the hands is wonderful. Once again, it's a lot of tans, a lot of pinks, a lot of dark reds, a lot of blacks to give it a sinewy look. And you could try and get a better look at that. And there you have it. It's just, when paint and sculpt meet together, grade A stuff, you get something like this. Fantastic. And then the other hand, like I said in my previous video, I was kind of, let me see if we can get a better look. I was kind of upset with the idea that the glove, the black portion of the glove, did not have any wear to it. That it was just a solid black. And here, McFarlane, I don't know if they were listening to me many years ago when I was just a, you know, late middle school, early high school kid, whatever. But this glove is worn. You can see where there used to be black and now it's all bleached out from years and years of use. You can see the red and the blood and the crimson on there. And once again, the rustic look. This one is a little bit more vibrant than the other one. It doesn't look as worn, but just paying attention to the detailing with the black and making sure that it was faded, you know, I can't really complain about this here. And I love how it's not just a solid red color for the blood. There's a mixture of different colors to show the difference between fresh blood and dried blood and caked blood. So just all in all, I think the glove was nicely sculpted, nicely painted. As you can see, that thing looks real. It looks like it's popping out at you. And then we get to the face. Holy shit. That is Fred Krueger right there. That is the evil son of a bitch that haunted me for years and years and years of my youth. But wow, look at that face. Look at that face. The same paint job on the hands applied to the face. Same color palette, except that the open lacerations here where, you know, the skin has been burned through, you have some dark reds and some blacks all mixed in there, all around to the back of the neck, or back of the head, back of the neck. That is just wonderful job paint wise. I think this is one of the best Freddy head sculpts and paint jobs out there, and this figure was released, wow, 9 years ago, and look how it still holds up over such a long period of time. Once again, articulation was secondary back then, so there's not a whole lot. You're not going to get much posability out of this guy, but the couple of poses you can't get him in, or you can get him in rather, are so nice and so signature that it will excuse the fact that he has limited articulation. But you have swivel in the head, but it's one of those swivels where he looks, when you turn it up all the way up, he looks up. When you turn it all the way down, he kind of looks down, and no matter how far you turn it, he still looks very menacing, very scary. You know, you turn it like that, and that's still frightening. You turn it like that, and that's even more frightening. And then you turn it like this, and it just works. So even though it's not a ball-jointed head, everything about it still works to give the character the personality that you experience watching Robert Englund in all those years and how he portrayed the character. So even with limited head articulation, everything is still signature. Everything is still 100% Fred Krueger. He has swivels in his shoulders, and he has a wrist swivel. There's no mid-arm swivel on this arm. This arm, it swivels at the shoulder. There's elbow articulation, and then the hands on a swivel. The waist sort of turns, but not a whole lot. It turns more in one direction than it does in another. So you kind of get him doing that. And there's ankle articulation, as you can see, in both ankles. So not a terrible amount of articulation, but I don't think it's 100% necessary. Accessories. He doesn't come with anything other than his movie Maniacs poster base. Again, screen cap. And he comes with his hat. And I didn't really say much about the hat because there really isn't a whole lot to be said about it. It's very well done. It's a flat black. There's some dinge on it, you know, to give it an old look. It's a more beat up than a lot of other Freddy hats that I've come across, and I like that. Other than that, that's the only accessory that he comes with. All in all, this Krueger gets my full recommendation. If articulation isn't a major concern and you just want something that is just a work of art, a thing of beauty, then you must pick this guy up. This is St. August. This has been another action figure review, and until next time, keep collecting.